What is up, guys? We are here with another member battle on the PLO 25 streets. Looks like we got set decently, I think. I think we have at least 5 on each table. So we will be playing some members in the PLO poker coaching community. If you want to get involved in that, feel free. Just make sure you jump into our Discord. That's where you will get all of the latest info on this stuff that we do. And yeah, I mean, obviously anyone can jump into these tables. We're just going to be streaming it and talking through some hands. Maybe trash talking a little bit, trying to tilt some people, and seeing what punts we come up with. So yeah, we will dive right in. I think we should be set up. Just check a couple of things. All right. So I know everyone on this left table, not sure about Sir Churchill. Might just be a regular player. If not, let us know who you are in the stream. On the left, we do need a lot of protection. Don't think that he has much deuce 5 in his range. But obviously ace X with like any overcard against us. Wouldn't mind folding out. Probably not going to fold, so we can at least get some value. And get a free turn. And unblocking the ace here, I mean, we're definitely going to be betting. I kind of want to size up a little bit. Ace is obviously never folding. I'm going to be guessing on a lot of turns. So don't mind playing a smaller pot. It's a little loose even for me. Against the min raise, we're gonna call. And kind of flop the nuts. And I think here we do want to bet. I mean, unlikely as aces with the min open and no squeezes behind. So unblocking the ace and hearts, I think we want to bet. We do have some good straight draw blockers. So there are a few less turns that we have to fold with the king and the 8. No action. So we'll res loose until these nits stop playing. Tito, come on. Hopefully we can take some stacks off Tito today. He does have position on us on the on this table though. And we flop top set. I mean, I still think that we unblock enough. If we had a club as well here, I'd be more inclined to check. Tio just 3-bets me every time, so I'm just not gonna fold. So you can just take that, Tio, that I'm not gonna fold to any of your 3-bets. I actually kind of don't mind a lead here. It's not the best hand to check call. It's a little too weak to check raise without the ace of club blocker. And obviously we do block a good amount of his value range on this board, blocking the ace and the club. The problem with jamming here, yes, we don't really want to check call. The problem with jamming is that the board's just like too connected. Like any overpairs that he had probably just picked up equity so they can call, even though we somewhat block it with the jack. I mean, we do have the jack of spades, which is a great card to just shove here. I expect to get jammed on a good amount though. And I mean, who is this fish? Who is this fish calling on the flop? What a terrible call. And we cannot suck out. Wow. That is unfortunate. That is unfortunate. I mean, Theo, what are we doing here? What are we doing? You have the ace of clubs. So, okay, so we will have leads on this board. So let's tilt here. I mean, this is actually, it's a good board to lead. I mean, this hand isn't great. There's a lot of tough turns, but the problem is when I bet this board, like no backdoor flush draw, just kind of calling here. The ace of clubs is kind of most of my bluffs as well, and I wouldn't mind jamming with this hand. But calling is not a great option because the ace of clubs is like somewhat irrelevant, because once you get to like an SPR of 1 on the turn, like, I mean, I'm never folding a 4 high flush, right? So the rank of this card in this situation is not that relevant. But I guess it's a pretty nice turn. Yes, it's a pretty nice turn. I think did I bet 75? I guess it depends on bet sizing, but yeah, 75. Maybe against a smaller bet size. Find some continues, but I would not recommend calling that hand. I would rather have seen a jam, and I probably would have folded. Big pot here on the right. And I'm just going to keep raising on the left until somebody calls. And not gonna have really that many leads on this board. Could be a candidate here, given that we can never really check call. We turn the double gar. And I think on a deuce, we want to usually be using a large sizing. We can block over pairs that can call once on the turn and then fold again to blanks on the river. And missed the action here on the right as I was answering a message, so I guess it goes chop chop. I guess that was the big 3-bet pot. Yeah, so I kind of missed that because I was answering in Discord. Any questions or comments or whatever, just put them in the stream chat. Okay, Tio, let's go again. Let's go again, Tio. Should have 0 leads on this board, Tio. Check your full range. There we go. I think I'm actually going to check this hand back. There's a good chance that we do have some showdown value with an ace and a king in our hands, and then like a lot of turns that we can start applying pressure. That's obviously being one of them. So I will jam this turn. And I think here, probably like half pot, you know, gets us to an SPR, where he can't just jam on rivers, so I don't mind it. Maybe we can size up a little. And we'll be jamming pretty much any river. Two pens and a flush draw on the left gets it in. It's not gonna be any help on the 8. So let's take a look at the action. So raise, call, so it goes 3-way to the flop. Bets top set, makes sense. We get the call with ace, queen, and the flush draw. Pretty standard. I think with a lower flush you could potentially check raise this hand. Queen high might be a bit strong, but it's getting closer, given that you have a pair in your hand. But yeah, I think probably too much value to raise there. And then on the turn, we get... So on the turn though, I think we're probably better just check calling. I mean, it's close. You know, we're just like, we have the board kind of locked down. I mean, there's not really many scary cards. Obviously hearts, but we have a 10 of hearts and we have 10-10. It's gonna block, you know, the straights that can potentially come in. And, you know, we are out of position though, so I could go either way there. I wouldn't mind seeing a flat. You know, given that we do heavily block a big portion of his value range. But like at the same time, if he's polarizing on the turn, you know, he can have like 7x, and you know, that's a hand that we want to keep in, that we just have like completely crushed. So yeah, be an interesting one to look at, but I think could potentially just flat the turn. Maybe it's a flat if you have the nut spades, actually. Because you could still get it in against ace-x of spades, I guess. I mean, it's tempting to raise these types of trashy hands when people are playing this tight behind, but I think it's a little early in position. Probably in the cuff. We could open that. Guys, we did just put out a new hand review video. If you guys are interested after this stream, take a look at that. Some heads up action. It was a pretty fun matchup. I play this guy a good amount. It's not a hugely profitable opponent, and especially obviously he plays up to 1-2. So, but when there's no action around, it can be pretty fun to play and work on how to exploit in different sort of situations. So I would definitely recommend watching heads up footage, maybe even playing some heads up or studying some heads up at least. It will drastically help you in a lot of spots in 6 max. I mean, I'm gonna play a ton of hands. What did I misclick? What's going on here? How did I only 2.4x it? It's like whether we can get aces and kings to fold. I mean, I don't think so. I mean, we have no equity in this whatsoever. So probably just check and giving up. Maybe check raising, I guess we could. And yeah, definitely not gonna bluff this river. Unless we check rip and represent the 6. Queen high. No good. I gotta learn where all my emojis are. This is definitely pretty trashy, but again, we're gonna play it really wide. I mean, alright, so the main goal so far is to win my stack back from Tio and somehow tilt him. So we get the 3-bet. I can't remember what he said. What did he say his name was? Like Tiny Bear or Tin Teddy Bear. Pretty funny. Takes it down. Gonna be a range bet on that board. So even your 4-4-5-5 or whatever, just ship it in. PLO hurts in the chat. No worries, my man. Hopefully we'll still be going later if you can hop in. I am missing some of the Euros games. I think Spain are playing right now, which is unfortunate. But we will have a big session tomorrow. A couple of high stakes tournaments that we'll be playing in. There's the 1K on GG, the 1K on Coin, and the 200 on there as well. And there's the Omaholics 1K main event, and then I forget the name of the other series on GG, which is like the forget the name of it. I mean, we can attack some overpairs here. We'll have Jack X a decent amount of the time, but a good amount of rivers that we can bluff. The check raise on this turn. Doesn't seem that believable. I mean, this is obviously a very loose call, but I think we can shove a good amount of rivers. Not that one. Or maybe that one. Like, I don't know that he's going to check raise sets. I think he's just going to bet those for value. We do get called by the straight. It was pretty much always going to happen. Guess we probably should pot the river. So we are donating to the PLO community on the left table. I think here probably can still get value from other overpairs, and I don't think we're going to get check raised too much by worse. And we do block Ace Jack, which is part of the raising range, and Jack 6. Obviously, no, nothing to do on the turn, just kind of check giving up at this point. And we do have a spade. Not ideal that we block the straight draws, and then folding on right, I guess. Do get check raised, which is pretty standard. And I would say that this is weighted more towards flushes than bluffs, because I will have a lot of ace in my range that's never going to fold here. So we are going to call, make the straight. And do we want to bet again? I don't think so. Like, we don't really need protection from anything. And it would suck to get check raised against the nuts. It doesn't matter because we just make the nuts anyway. Let's use the 75% sizing we just used to bluff and see if we can get a call from a low flush or get jammed on by the straight flush. Guys, how am I getting this through? Someone needs to be calling. Yeah, so I think it's going to be a relatively early start tomorrow. I think, let's look up what the name of that series is. Oh yeah, the APL series. So yeah, some decent ones tomorrow. Starts pretty early. With, I think there's like I want to say it's like a 50k guarantee maybe. So a couple of big tournaments tomorrow. 3-betting here on the left and then folding to the 4-bet. It's basically just always aces. And you know, if my kings were like double suited or like more connected, like in this sort of middling range, then you know I would just flat there. But you can kind of raise there for value and then fold to a 4-bet without really wasting too much. Min raise here. I'm gonna continue with this hand. And I mean, the SPR is so low here. I think we just pot and stack off with a paired gut shot backed off flush draw. And betting on the left, some protection, and also, you know, as a semi bluff there with the gut shot. Obviously, easy fold to a raise, not really burning much equity. Definitely have to be careful on these boards, but I think this is good enough to bet and then continue on a few different runouts. And we will bet some over pairs for protection, but I guess our backed off flush draw is pretty weak. Still think I'm just going to check this back. I mean, exploitatively, like I just want to fold this. And we might lose another stack here to Tito. Gonna be a range bet from him. I'm probably gonna turn. I just pot the river. Well, I guess we're not gonna try and bluff. And not a great river, given that a ton of his semi bluffs get there. We're just gonna go for the bet fold, I guess. We won't really ever get raised by a straight here. And this is obviously a snap fold, but for the action, we're gonna play it. No leads on this board, but we will see a range bet, so I actually don't mind res folding this hand. We have pretty garbage runouts. But we do obviously block some of his wraps, and obviously the top of his value range. And we can still spike a 5, which is likely good. Or potentially bluff some straights. I guess we fold. I mean, we're getting a ridiculous price. Tea and biscuits. That is rough. That is rough. I will have a lot of leads on this turn. And that's a really annoying river. Not because I think that I'm necessarily beat. But he will have like ace, ace, X, which makes it straight now. Yeah. And on the left, kind of thinking to bet and stack off against this guy. Is 6, 8, 9, 10 oversuit. So we're not going to stack off here. We're just going to bet folds, 3-way, too deep. Is 6, 8, 9, 10 oversuit and open under the gun with this reg structure, or any reg structure for that matter? Oversuit, like as in trip suit? I mean, no. Most of my opens are not going to be GTO. I mean, you can see my VPIP. I'm just trying to give a bit of action here. Like, for example, I'm never folding to a 3-bet against Tito, so. We're just gonna shove it down his throat on this flop. Pot sizings only after he called me with 3 overcards. No straight blockers here. I think we probably just want to check back 4-way. And I think if I had overcards here, or a couple that I'd be more inclined to jam, I think we're just gonna call here. Obviously makes other boards less likely. And I would rather call here with like ace jack than having the 7. It's really not about the absolute hand strength, right? Like he's basically repping like jack 10 plus. So yeah, I think easy fold. And I guess this was a 3-bet pot. And if so, I think you just want to bet your range kind of small. I'd probably go for a third here. So you can just bet range. Half pot, you probably have to have some checking. But I like the high frequency bet. We get the block bet from Tito. And the jam. And I think you can probably jam like king and like no flush draw here is the value range. So like I guess king X plus clubs is a good bluff catcher. King X and clubs it is. So I think you probably want to have a pair blocker there when you go pot. If you don't have a pair blocker, I think you probably want to bet smaller. And I guess you're trying to fold out a 3. But if you have a pair blocker and the ace of clubs, I think you can go pot, because as I said, probably with ace king, with nut clubs and a king blocker, like you can jam. Because you will get looked up by king X of clubs. And we're gonna 4-bet TO here if he 3-bets me. Tito says only once and is punished for the big 16 big blind pot. Gets it in again. 75-ish% favorite again. Can he hold? Refuses to give him the twice. Queen or 5. And ships it. Tito crushing the tables. We'll be behind like a decent amount of over pairs here, so I don't think that we want to bet, although we do have a reasonably strong hand with nut gut shot and backdoor flush draw. And basically betting range on this flop and then checking back again on the right. Decent river potentially. Do we get value? I think it's tough. I think we'll get called by like queens and jacks and stuff, so we might end up just value calling ourselves versus the amount of times we get called by 8x. Again, another range, but here it's a bit more dynamic on this board, and so I think we can size up a little bit. And see that on the right, and then just going for pot size on the turn here. He can still have ace king, but I think he has enough draws that man, it's pretty gross. Yeah, does have ace king. I don't think we really have a credible bluff raise. Pretty standard c-bet on the left, blocking some of the straight draws, spades and top pair. Turning showdown value, not blocking the straights. Think pretty standard check back. Big pot developing on the right. I mean, we lose a lot of the time here. I think we have too much showdown to bluff though. Wow, catches the 9. Love it, love it. Sure, why not? Nice and wide. I think I prefer leading here rather than check raising. Pretty bad river. Oh, I still can't pronounce it. Afraraxian? I don't know. Famicist. Famicist is in the mix. Team Biscuits with the call, and 577. We'll have a lot or decent lead frequency on paired boards, but on these kind of lower middling connected boards, against the big blind range, I don't think that we want to do too much here. We do unblock a lot of the bluffs, and it's going to be kind of hard to call down on this hand. So I actually don't mind raising here. We obviously have some nut outs. And against his like raising continuing range, we're like kind of dead. If he has pocket fives, it's pretty sick. It's a pretty unfortunate turn. I don't think that we're gonna get any bluffs out of pretty much anything. The question is, do we want to lead, or do we want to go check check and like bet turn? I guess we're probably like bang a good amount here on this turn. And on these kind of Lord, no straight board kind of boards, we're gonna have a pretty high betting frequency, and aces gut shot backdoor flush draw is good enough to bet and stack off. So I mean, SPR is a little higher here given that he raised smaller, but loosey goosey, was that what you meant to write? Yeah, I'm definitely very loose today, very loosey goosey. I'm playing every hand against you, Tio. I want that stack back. I'm gonna be a full-on fish. I'm just gonna start like chatting in this one. No, we're not folding. We're never folding. Where did that where'd the screen go? Not the best flop, not the flop that we were looking for. Pot. Not really much to do here. I'm gonna see bet on the right. We block a lot of the continues. Obviously not calling with the gut shot. Pot sizing, I mean, on these types of boards is probably fine. We do block some of the bluffs here, but we also unblock kings, queens, jacks. So I'm gonna go for the pot bet here. We do have equity against a 10. Just giving action left and right. Get 4-bet by Tio here. I thought we flopped the straight, which would have been magical. Checking full range. And then gonna check raise on the left. Bad card for my range, for sure, for sure. But I might actually check jam. I think just gonna call on the right, not the grass turn. And then on this run out, basically, probably don't ever have leads. And obviously folding this hand. Do we want to turn it into a bluff? I'm gonna check raise, actually. Doesn't bluff. It's the perfect check raise incoming. Damn it. I wish there was you're a fish emoji. That's what I want. Okay. There's not really gonna be much 9-9 here that we ever check back. We'll get, unfortunately we have an ace and a king. We block some of the 10x raises. But it's a coordinate enough board to get some action, but unfortunately none. As my microphone breaks. See how wide we can get away with. With the deuce, it's not great here, but tempted to actually just call. And against the lead, do we ever want to raise? I mean, pretty good flop on the right. I just call in position, gets snapped off, by 10x, oh, with the open-ended too. And do we want to raise? Did I deny running it twice? Sorry if I did. I didn't see the thing come out. I didn't see the option. I mean, I guess I would rather have an 8 here. Or, I mean, are we really gonna fold this? I guess not. Interesting line. So the lead on the flop, I think you probably want to have a pair blocker. Like on a 7, again, no pair blocker, you actually block some of the draws, and you have hearts and spades blocking the backdoor flush draws as well. Yeah, I mean, I would probably check the turn. I would probably check the turn, and then yeah, it's tough as played. I guess you want to follow through, but I mean, you even block some of the spades picked up on the turn. Here, what was the action we bet? We unblock all of the bluff catches, so I think we probably want to bet and rep a miss flush draw, given that we have the queen of clubs. Plenty of 2 pairs that can call us. Oh, what's going on here? Out of the big blind, I think we just want to fold. We get the raise. And we do block the nuts. Thank you. And obviously we'll be bang range on this board, and so it's a pretty good spot. given that ace X is going to obviously play back at us, but no love, no love. Snap pot from Mr. Potentially Tilted over there. I'm gonna make the call here since we have a mega whale in the big blind. We want to get him along and play some pots with him. Decided to check back because we blocked 7x. Probably unblocking the ace we should bet because we're going to get value from aces. I think this hand's good enough to raise, and like given we missed the bet on the flop, I think we can kind of raise now. Obviously would prefer to have an additional heart in my hand or the nuts, but he's gonna have to bet call with aces if he does bet there, and I think it potentially can make up for our missed c-bet on the flop. Getting a little deeper here, I'm not going to be 3-betting as much exploitatively with my kings. And I would if I knew we were going to flop the nuts. Just unblocking so many of the draws that can continue. Definitely want to bet this top set. But no action, no action. I just always have the nuts, guys. Makes sense. And I think probably a bit too weak here to 3-bet. Definitely could check raise this board. And I'm gonna have a high c-bet frequency on the left. And I guess we're gonna go for the check on the right, trying to do some bluffs. We do block some of the straights that can call. We do unblock all the pairs. So I think probably gonna go for a check call here. I don't think he's gonna bluff that often. We get a large bet on the left. And we do get him to value cut himself. And I think nut got shot and flush draw. I'm gonna call here. I don't think we're gonna bluff catch with this particular combo. We often just run into like 2-pair type hands. We block a lot of the draws that kind of could have been coming along. So we'll see. The deuce. The deuce. Do we want to 4-bet here? It's ridiculously loose, but it's kind of fun. I was close, Tio. I was close. Problem is the amount of kings that he has in his range. Oh, did we 3-bet over here as well? Oops. Well, we're definitely like pot stacking off on this flop. Problem on the right is like we don't block clubs here, we don't block diamonds. Pretty rough turns. I think we still just want to get it in here on the left and then probably check giving up on the right. Win the first and lose the second. Fair enough, chop chop. And then on the right, after he checks back, obviously not folding straights. We block some of the 2-pairs. He's gonna bet a set. Honestly makes it quite likely that he has a straight. So I think we probably just want like bluffs. And we're not folding, but like at least this gives us a chance to pick up some value from bluffs. Yeah, I mean, obviously. But either way, we lose that. So I guess did I bet small on the flop? Is that what happened? Yeah, we bet small on the flop. So I don't think that you can really fold that hand. Backed off flush draw, gut shot. And we're about to stack Tio here anyway, so it's okay. We heavily block a 6 and some diamonds in his range. And we do pick up some more outs, and we will be able to shove like some missed draw rivers. And the question is we lose to aces so much here. And checking back on the right. Oh man, I should have bluffed. Maybe we still will bluff. Who knows? This is going to be the sickest bluff. Are you guys ready for this? Do you think he'll fold for an extra 40 bigs? Should fold. Should fold. I mean, let's look at that hand. Pots, I mean, Tito is trying to give away money. I guess he has a club draw too. But yeah, pot size call on the turn is it's pretty questionable, sir. Pretty questionable. Let's keep playing like a maniac. Against 2, this is not ideal, but SPR2 with middle pair, blocker, backdoor, flush draw, and a gut shot. I think we are going to go for this. I don't think we're going to get that much King X to fold if it has any sort of backup. And I mean, what is going on today? Just wants to jam the flop here. I mean, there's no reason to flat call that, because you get those kind of turns and you chop your equity in half when you can get it in on the flop as, you know, a favorite, and not let stuff like that have to happen when you have to call like that first turn. Obviously not folding to the 4-bet on the right. And we'll take the nuts. Man, we do block a lot of the board. Obviously, he has aces a ton. The question is, do we just ship it now because he's going to call a lot of those aces? I guess. Could have checked it back. Looking to fade a queen. We fade on the first. Oh, turns a lot more outs on the second, but we hold. So we got some big pots incoming here, for sure, against T.O. and Blow Me Sucker over here. I didn't check back. I checked. Wait, which part are we talking about? Ace, queen, queen, fall. I'm just gonna check back here. And call the turn. And it's gonna check back, given that we could potentially have a decent bluff catcher with some of our side cards. Sneaky, sneaky. Why would you bet pawn turn after check back? I'm not sure which hand. But yeah, I mean, obviously donking around, but in that spot, if I have even 20 more big blinds, you probably fold river. So pair and open ender backdoor flush draw. Definitely gonna bet call, check res. Wait, did we 3-bet here? Oh, we 3-bet. If we 3-bet, I probably would have been more inclined to check this back. And then folding to river bet. Do we want to bluff with our heart? You take it down. I think most decent flushes are going to lead that river. And on the right... I think given my image, I think that we probably just want to bet. And unfortunately cannot play the 3-bet part because we get 4-bet. And if we get check raised here, definitely just gonna call. Not a fun turn. Not a fun turn. And blocking pairs and the straight. Depending on bet sizing, we probably just give up at this point. And then value bet river. And on the left, just gonna go for the smaller value size. Maybe we think about what hands go check, check, check. I mean, people are just folding so heavily. And three-way, probably have to give this one up, even though we have the club draw and backdoor wrap. And this card isn't actually great for my range. I would expect to see big blind here have a decent amount of leads. as bluffs as well as value. I just don't have very many nuts in my range. So if I want to keep a good bluff to value combo, I'm not gonna have many leads at all. Let's get in the mix for a min res. Actually not a terrible hand to bet against the small blinds range with my blockers. We'll get called a lot by diamond draws, and we have a very good hand to double and triple if those miss. And basically just like never folding to a min res here. And probably gonna raise this flop. Small. Probably doing actually block the queen, to be honest. And we do block a ton of the turn draws. We obviously still have some polarity. I don't think people are going to just check call queens on this board. You get ripped on, so obviously just going to be folding, and could argue with the double gutter about potentially checking back there. Just pretty obviously crushed by overpairs here. Queen is nice, but against the MP opening range, we're not going to be in good shape. We can't fold the turn to a half pot size bet. But we're obviously just most of the time getting value town by Kings Plus. PLO hurts in the mix. 3-bet from Team Biscuits deep. We're not going anywhere. Parent gut shot, backdoor flush draw. We're not folding. Pot size bet. There's often, I mean, against like, you know, overpairs with gut shots, which like we're not doing that great against, but this deep, unfortunately it's a club, and I mean, probably wouldn't use a pot sizing on this turn. Makes my life pretty easy to just fold pretty much anything that's not a straight. And then checking back on the right, given that we block our own outs and don't have a club in our hand. And then folding to a river bet. keeping that V-pip up there. And pretty standard C-bet on the right. And very loose squeeze on the left, but we are deep. So I will take that. And then on the left, opted for the check back, given that, you know, it turns additional dynamic nature of the board, and we're just not really gonna get too many folds. And I mean, we do have weak potential value in our hand, but I don't think it's the right board to go for the double there. Again, low connected boards, not gonna have a huge c-bet frequency, and without a heart, just checking and giving this one up. He still has a ton of better overpairs in his range, so if I had an ace in my hand, we could go for the check raise. But yeah, I mean, not having like king, queen, ace type hands, I think we likely just want to fold here to pot size bet. And the deuce, if we had a 9x here, like, you could potentially start bluffing with these 10 high flush draws, but deuce is just not that much of a relevant blocker. We can't call, though. We do have some like backdoor wraps. If we get two callers, we're obviously folding. If we get like a bet and a call, we're obviously folding. Because we can just be kind of like crushed both ways in terms of against a better flush draw, and then well, pretty much always a better mid hand. We'll lead on the left, top two, and the straight blocker. He'll have plenty of flush draws that he can continue with, and these are the types of boards that you'll have leading ranges out of the big blind. Even though we're defending super wide. We'll be right back. Okay, that might even be a little too loose for me. Decent board to bet on the left, blocking a ton of the continuing range and pretty dead against the jack. Pretty good flop on the left. We get snap called. We have seen this guy show some aggression with a double 2-street bluff. So I'm gonna check, given that I block diamonds as well. And then probably call, and then check jam river, I guess. He will get there with... Yeah, I still see him betting straights, and he can obviously have like a boat here too. So probably don't have many leads on this river card. Snap checks though. And the question is, does he ever check? Does he ever just call 3-6 on the turn sometimes? Probably raises 9s, like... I think we have to go small if we want to get a call here by like 9-10. I mean... it's pretty gross. Pretty gross. I don't think that he really has bluffs here, but can we call, given that so much should be removed from his range? And that's the second time today, so that's not fun. And I think it's a good play. I think, yeah, I mean, I like the play. Don't have any, I mean, you do have the redraw on the turn. But yeah, I don't mind the call there, you know, given that the board is so draw heavy, and then missing all of the, you know, not having like a club or a heart in your hand. I mean, it makes a pretty good hand to go for the check raise. Tito in the chat getting crushed, boss. Yeah, I'm playing 50% VPIP, dude. Trying to generate some action against you nits. But yeah, running into some pretty gross spots. But yeah, I think that hand was well played. And we'll obviously get some value there against bluffs as well, not just against the cooler. But yes, we're probably down, I'm guessing, 3 or 4 buy-ins, maybe? Something like that. Maybe we want to raise this flop in position. Obviously, I'll have some 7x here, and we do have some backdoor wraps. I think calling is fine. And now we do turn the second up flush with a pair blocker. So decent candidate to call down. And just gonna check back. I mean, we might get some value from 7x. I think, you know, if we have the nut flush, I'd be more inclined to bet the turn. So let's get ourselves into another gross spot here, just calling stupidly wide. Probably somewhat of a range bet on this board for small sizing. The fact that we have an ace and a queen is like not fantastic. So I think we're actually just going to give this up. And on the left, I'm going to check back here. It would be unfortunate to get jammed on by wraps or two pair hands. Can always just turn the nuts. And I think here we'll probably play quite passively, especially given that we have the flush draw here as well. We'll probably get a good amount of action on blanks, although there are not that many blanks. But we shouldn't hit that turn. It's a pretty unfortunate one. That just completes a bunch of straights. The question is, can we get hero called when it looks like we have aces and clubs? And on the right, probably checking foolish range here. And obviously not folding. And I don't think that there is much value in raising here. And now, do we want to have leads? I mean, we just make it like so likely that he has a straight at this point. That is going to check back a good amount of the time. I mean, river quads. So I definitely think that we can get value here. Definitely think we can get value here from a straight. It just depends on what sizing. And so that was obviously a pretty gross run out, a bit of a cooler there once the board double pairs, because it's kind of impossible to fold a straight, so we can use that larger sizing. Get in the mix with the min raise. And unfortunately, just gonna fold far away. Good old Jack 8-4 deuce. Surely got to be a winner. Oh my god, can't miss. Man, we flop pretty huge on left. Turn the nuts. Do we ever want to slow play here? It's not a great card for our range. We do block diamonds as well. I think we can at least go small bet. It's so unfortunate. God damn, dude. I mean, we can't fold for half pot size bet, but I mean, pretty wild, pretty wild. What a beautiful flop that was. A beautiful, beautiful flop. And we get called twice with Jack high flush and an overpair. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of loose. I mean, call the squeeze. I mean, I guess calling the squeeze is fine. What did we bet on the flop? I guess we bet small on the flop as well. So never folding to small sizing, never folding to small sizing on turn. Here we have a couple good blockers to bet. Just don't really have much equity though, which don't love doing out of position, but the thing is, we can definitely call and bluff spade runouts. It's like very unlikely to have like spades, just because a lot of those are going to check raise the flop. We're just going to give it up and then squeeze on the left. The ace and king high suit, get it through. Pretty good card for were we have the big blind here? Actually forget what action we were on here. What happened here? Or did the player leave and we were in the big blind? Not sure. And just gonna be folding a bunch of the trash that I'm calling pre-flop. Yeah, I think just giving up here. You could definitely float. It jammed on here on the right. Obviously not folding. Question is, do we just get it in? I mean, he's basically saying he has better than aces, so I don't think that we necessarily want to jam in position here, because it's just often like two pair. And like we're kind of likely against like 10 jack, so I'm actually gonna bet small and then like jam river. It's pretty hard to call. I mean, obviously I got the magical run out there, but even if the river's a deuce, it's pretty hard to call down with like two pair, or even a set there. What? Come on. I mean, we're never folding. We're gonna continue without trash. Flop the nuts. Always nice. Pretty deep. Actually, no, I'm short, so we're just ripping. Probably not in great shape against the overpair and a flush draw. Trying to avoid the ace. Oof. Top pair gutter backed off flush draw. This range is made up more of overpairs. Kind of tempted to just pot. We get a lot of folds here, and we can stack off here very easily. And we do get the fold through. And this is not a great board out of position. Do have the gut shot in the backdoor flush draw, so I'm just going to go for the check call. Especially against half pot. I don't think we'll have many leads. I mean, a lot of our hands with like strong flush draws are just going to pot and kind of play aggressive on the flop. So easy check fold on the turn. Even to the small sizing. I like it though. Now we're down to four-handed. Gotta play some hands. Gotta play some hands. Probably not this one though. I don't know if we have enough. Like, our hand is so middle of the road here to go for a check raise. Sometimes just prefer leading. We do need some protection. Guess we could call a check raise. Oh, yeah. He didn't disagree, just gave the smiley face. He's tilting. He's tilting. Everyone attack the tilting teddy bear. River 2-pair, we do block some of the draws. It's not the best bluff catcher, but... And I mean, we make quads on the right. I guess, do we want to check raise? I mean, it's a lead small. Might be some overpairs in the mix here. Not ideal. But like, what kind of king X hands is he gonna have to check back with? I think that we want to just check call, since he will have some king. And he might even value bet overpairs at this point. On the river, should we go for the check rip? I think he's just going to check back like 10x. I think we're going to bet small here, maybe induce something. Come on, Tito, 3-bet me. This is the marginal hands I love. I say that feels like a good flop. On the right, gonna bet here just because sand plays kind of gross going forward. We do get check raised. I imagine this to be like pretty value heavy. I mean, we're not gonna fold. We can bluff some pairing runouts. That's obviously pretty good. Still slow him down with king queen. So I think with a small bet here, we can actually get a free river, or potentially if we pair up again, jam. And with 2 pair on the right, just gonna check down. I can never find the one I want. Where's I'm so good? I'm so good. Do we throw in a little shake and back 3-bet? Probably not. Let's just play it out. Pretty good flop. Pretty bad turn. Just gonna go for the check call. I mean, we block pairs, block straight draw. I mean, it's just so likely as a flush. But against half pot, we have decent enough equity to call. Pair and a gut shot. Just gonna fold. And just giving up on the right. Against a flush most of the time. And on the right, I think... Nah, I guess we have the gut shot too. We're gonna go for a check. I don't know that we have enough to go for the check here. I think our hand is deceptively shit. What is this guy saying? What's going on? What is cash pile? I don't know. Something that I made up. Pretty good river. We sneak in a little value bet here. I think we can. I don't know who this is, but you came in through the stream. Announce yourself. Announce yourself in the stream, sir. Alright, so we're building back up some stacks after getting pretty crushed. And we flop a nice little flop on the left. The gut shot, no flush draw. Turning a double gut shot, no flush draw. I think we want to start building a pot with no showdown value. And we completely whiff everything and don't have a pair blocker, so. We don't block some of the overpairs that I'll be able to call, so I think we just give up. Just gonna flop a set on the right. That doesn't look like a set. So sick, T. Oh yeah, so sick. You win with what? What? How do you not bluff? How do you not bluff? How do you not bluff here, Tio? You want black high spades. Yan has got wine. He is back in the mix. He is ready to go. That sounds pretty good. I wish I had a beer or something right now. That would be kind of fun. Jürgen Bayer, welcome to the stream, welcome to the game. Thank you for identifying yourself. This is where I live. I live in the PLO 25 streets. And unfortunately we're going to be folding here. It's a juicy table, man. There's big fish. I got that 50% VPIP going. Might be a waiting list to get on this table. Let's have a look. There is a waiting list for the one table as I carry the VPIP. Tito again. With the fishy play, scoops the pot. So blocking the two pairs and obviously having the gut shot. We're gonna bet here and call a raise. Didn't realize this guy was 50 big blinds deep. We could have definitely bet smaller, and so won't make the same mistake over here. Oh, is Tito out? Is Tito out? Had a big run. 500 BB deep. If it is his last hand, we need to be in the mix. The gut shot, backed off straight draw, backed off flush draw. How can we resist? And we get the worst possible turn. So obviously it's pretty good run out for my range, and people haven't really shown any sort of aggression in the hand, so definitely gonna go for a stab here. Get called here by 9s or some shit. Ace, ace, king, king for his last hand. Lol. Oh. Damn, wow. I just got tricked. I got tricked into playing junk with the TO. It's my last hand. Bullshit. $10 holla. Cold calling an MP. What sorts of hands connect with this board? We're gonna call just because we want multiple people to enter the pot. Not the turn we were looking for. We will check back since we do have some equity, and probably bluff hearts, maybe the low straight as well. Can have like kings with diamonds, but again, I think we just have too much showdown. On the right, guess we fold. I guess we fold. Just river the nuts. Not folding, Jan. I'm not folding. Man, it's a pretty bad flop. Pretty bad flop. some 9-5 we would definitely want to bluff here, that had some more blockers to the board, but with a backdoor flush draw and no real interaction with his jamming range, I think we just want to call. Pretty good turn. Definitely have some leads on the ace. Maybe half pot, maybe a smaller sizing here. We're gonna see a lot of pot size bets here, so I'm just gonna check rip it. Do we want to jam? We could just check jam, I guess. Our hand's just like kind of vulnerable. His quads. Or he's time banking to snipe the stream. He's time banking to snipe the stream. Time banking to snipe the stream. So I give this call 0 credit now when it happens. Yeah, dude. Yeah, this is not really cool. I mean, like, obviously you see my cards at this point, so. But is what it is. Tank call with like a 10. Yeah, dude, I mean, you obviously have my cards up, so it's you know, no one else is time banking for 2 minutes. I mean, yeah, that's just like not really in the spirit of what we're doing, so that's probably gonna be the stream wrapped up. So that is going to be it from me, guys. Not sure. I mean, obviously it's good banter for us guys playing here and the people involved. Don't know how many people are watching or enjoying it, so we'll see how we go in terms of feedback on the videos as to how many more of these we do. But yeah, that is going to be it from me, probably after this hand. And yeah, we will see you again soon, and we'll see some more videos coming up in the next week or so. So thank you everyone for tuning in, and